Maybe you've seen a lot about this champion in the last couple days, the last week or so. He's really come out of nowhere. I don't know if Plarium expected this because he's been in two different 10Xs at this point. But I don't think they did. I think that's just a coincidence. Either way, we're going to break down Buranguri today. And there's definitely some key information here that I was missing up until yesterday. So I'm very excited to share that with you guys. Let's get it. What's up guys, MtgJedi here, and today we're going to be in the Shadowkin faction, looking at the Super Saiyan himself of Raid Shadow Legends, Buranguri, and this champion, man, crazy impressive. His base stats are very solid. His base speed is kind of a bad thing, like 93 base speed, but his HP is not bad. His defense is good. And he has base resistance and base accuracy, which we're seeing more and more of these days on these newer champions. So he is a defense-based champion, okay? And I think that he's going to be great for a lot of different areas. But obviously, most people right now are using him for Bommel. So that's going to be a lot of the content that I'm going to recommend him for, okay? Attacks one enemy, 20% chance to provoke, which as we know is a great ability for the Magma Dragon, and that will go up to 30, 40%, 45% after masteries. So if you pair him with an ally attacker or a counter attacker, I think he could be really solid option for the Magma Dragon. And I know a lot of people, especially early game progressions, get stuck on the Magma Dragon. I've talked to a bunch of players that that's happened with. His A2 is an AoE stun. Admittedly, it's only 60% chance here with the books, but I think this is an awesome Faction Wars ability. It really is. If you're using him in Doom Tower maybe, but you know, if you don't have a large roster, then this AoE stun could be the whole reason why he's in your team. That's not going to be the reason why we're using him on my team, but I think that it is a great ability. Now, his A3 is really wonderful, but just does not happen to be wonderful for the content that I'm going to be recommending him for. But when Faction Wars opens, this is going to be an insane ability. 25% strengthen on all allies, and a shield on all allies with less than 50% HP, which is equal to 15% of their max HP. So, I mean, it's a great survival ability. The entire reason that we're talking about him at all is because of his passive, okay? Heals himself by 50% of his max HP whenever an ally or an enemy dies, okay? And this passive is what allows him to survive, okay? Now, over here, we have the Ally Resist in All Battles aura, which is very, very helpful, especially in Doom Tower or Faction Wars. Resistance is great in Faction Wars, honestly. And you only need, 250 resistance, 300 at most, for all the levels combined in Faction Wars. So the Resistance aura definitely helps with that. I'm going to start by going over his gear, because I feel like that is the most important part. I don't want to get into the video without discussing his gear, okay? Because what you need to know is that you need to hit very specific numbers on him in order to use him in the hard Doom Tower, okay? And we'll get more into that in a second, but it took me a lot of tweaking and help from my Twitch chat to get these stats here, all right? It is not logical how I went about this, in all honesty. It is not. One of the issues that I had early on was I was trying to get him over 250 speed, and for the level 40 boss, or level 50? 40. I forget. The level 50 boss, he does not need to be 250 speed. That is for the level 90 boss, and I got that mixed up. Okay, so I was having him in speed gear, but you must, it's a requirement to have a full set of regen and a full set of immortal. That is the 2 sets that you need, period, end of story. There's no other options. A lot of champions in the game, you can use a lot of different sets, but if you want to use him against Bommel, then you need these 2 sets, and there are no other choices. So how did I get to these total stats? We had 64k HP, which honestly is a little bit too low. If I had better gear, I would get this more close to 70k. But the 4,000 defense, non-negotiable. 4,000 defense is a must. And then the rest of it is not that important. You definitely need over 200 speed, but not the 250. I would prefer this to be at 215 or 220. But this is the stats that I was able to use to beat this content with. And so I know that it works. I also have some tips and tricks for that level specifically, so stick around. Don't click off the video just yet. Let's look at each piece of gear because I feel like it's very important. I ended up with HP percent gloves, and to be honest, they do not have great stats. The only thing that's important here is that it has both of these defenses to bump up my defense. It's not the best piece, and I didn't really want to max it out, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes, guys. Now, this is the normal piece that is on my seer, and so it's definitely a good piece of gear. It has the defense percent, and it has the speed. The rest of it is not important. On the weapon, we have speed and HP percent are the most important ones. We have triple hit on HP percent, a little bit of speed, a little bit of flat defense is helpful. On the shield, we have speed, and that's it. That's the only thing that is helping us on this piece is the speed. So on the boots, just the fact that they're 6-star and that they have some HP, that's it. That's all that's helping us here. And so you can see, like, my regen gear, this is the best regen gear on my account. Every time that I run the Fire Knight, I do not get good regeneration gear. But I'm going to be putting, whenever the next Fire Knight tournament comes around, I'm going to put some definitely big amounts of energy in there to try to get a better set or another set. Like, I feel like this regeneration gear would be good on a champion who I care about their crit stats, for example. Or their resistance for the boots. On the ring, I ended up with a defense ring that had both strong rolls for HP percent and defense percent. On the amulet, I also ended up with a defense amulet so that I could hit that, but I found one that was able to give me some flat HP to help me with the HP. And then I ended up with a defense banner as well that had really good defense rolls and a little bit of speed. Okay, and that is the only way that I was able to get this 4,000 defense. That was the only way. I even tried doing defense percent on the gloves or the chest, but if I did defense percent on the gloves or chest, it just made my overall HP suffer too much. So, man, it was really a challenge getting these stats, but I feel like I found the minimum stats for this champion, so bear that in mind. These are the minimums. You cannot go below this, right? Skills. I did book him for clan vs. clan. I do not think that is necessary. The only thing that does is add a little bit more damage for Bommel. But when it comes to faction wars, booking this stuff is going to be great. Booking this. There's no cooldown on his passive, so you don't need to worry about that. In terms of masteries, let me put myself in the middle here. In terms of masteries, you definitely want War Master here, so you get the damage. Otherwise, you will never finish the run. There is a patch that is being implemented in the game today to hopefully fix the glitchiness of Bommel, which I do appreciate. I'm very interested to see whether they nerf him or not. So we're going to do a quick run as long as we don't run into the server maintenance, which is happening very soon. And then this over here, the support tree with the healing, is very important. The most important mastery on him is Spirit Haste. You must have this mastery to be successful, and I actually think you need War Master to be successful as well. I'm pretty sure you need Lore of Steel to get the set bonuses over there as well. And then coming down this middle row here, it's a good plan, okay? So, Buranguri, he's going to be great in Faction Wars whenever that crypt opens. The content that I'm going to show him in today is obviously going to be the Doom Tower, and I really need to show off this team to go with him, okay? And I need to explain some things about it, okay? Number one, Ursula the Mourner is only in here for her speed aura. You can use any other champion with an all battle speed aura or a Doom Tower speed aura, okay? Iron Brago was really key for me here. I could not beat it before I put him in there. His passive is going to increase the defense by 10%. So it's going to add more defense to your champions. But even with the lower defense, I couldn't beat it until I got to 4K. Even with this, even with the aura, this is my setup here. Ethos is in there just to clear the waves quickly. I don't think that Norog's passive is working here. I don't think it is. So keep that in mind. I don't think you need Norog, but this is the team that I used to clear it with. And then Buranguri. So let's take a look at the AI programming. You need to turn off Ursula's Revive because it puts up these buffs. You need to turn off Buranguri's A3. You need to turn off Iron Brago's A2, and both of those are for the buffs that they put up. Norog's fine, and Ethos is fine, okay? Let's go ahead and run this and see. Please, Polarium, I hope you have lowered the power level, and we can just run through here. Then I will have an awesome ability for a thumbnail. But either way, this is mainly a champion guide for Buranguri. Okay, he's not a great damage dealer. He's just consistent. You know, he's survivable. That's the entire reason that he's going to be on the team. So here we have our champions just finishing out the wave before we get to the boss. And this is full auto. You can see on that screen previously that it did take me 14 minutes. Which I'm not going to make you sit through here, but we're going to see if what happens here, because I will be able to tell based on how quickly we're beating the boss and based on a number of other factors how much damage we're taking, etc. I mean, the fact that we're still alive here is surprising. Okay, and you see when the bombs go off, that's what heals him. So actually, you don't want him too fast, because if he is getting too many turns, then the bombs will not have time to heal him. Okay, I think this is exactly the same. But you can see there that when the bombs go off, when he takes that damage, he's healing back up. Yeah, this looks exactly the same. I don't see any differences. If you notice any differences about this boss, please let me know in the comments below. I guess I could go ahead and test to see whether or not we are getting the, like, you know, the crazy resistances. But I mean, I feel like they would have made an announcement about that if they were going to make that change. So I'm not going to make you sit through this fight. We're going to back out. But I will show you. I'll put on the screen again with the times and everything. This took me 202 turns, 1442 minutes. And that was the best time in here. Okay, that was the best time in my clan. On global, probably nowhere close to the best time, but I'm curious, so we'll take a look. Yeah, 42 turns, 3 astroliths. Wowzers, 3 astroliths. So interesting. That is definitely a bomb team for sure, if I've ever seen one. So interesting. Candrafon for the waves, probably. And then Astrolith for the boss. Interesting. Somebody else does have 3 Astroliths, but I'm not willing to make that investment. So I will stick with the best time in my clan. Shout out to my other dudes in the clan here who also beat this boss, and some other options for you as well. Buranguri, 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 and then a super tanky Whirlum team with decreased accuracy that I'm probably going to try to build for floor 90. Okay, so I'm going to keep this video to that length of time here for you guys. Also, I don't want to run into the server maintenance and screw the video up. But let me know in the comments below, was this information helpful to you about Buranguri? Let me know in the comments below. If you're on the normal side, obviously you don't need these stats. It's much easier on the normal side. But on the hard side, definitely do. All right, that'll do it for me here today. I'm MtgJedi. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. More videos will be popping up on the screen in just a moment.